Today on Carolina News, the United States dropped its largest non-nuclear bomb in Afghanistan today. Find out what was the target of the attack. And
Lexington County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
It's 538 St. Andrews Road.
faux calls. Hear police frustrations after a woman has made 60 fake emergency calls and what police are trying to do to find her. Plus,
she shared it, and her neighbor had shared it to her, and so it just spread like wildfire.
what one social media site is doing to combat fake news. Carolina News starts now.
Live from the capital city, Carolina News brings you your news first. With breaking news and in-depth reporting. Up-to-the-minute weather. And all your sports news and highlights. It's all here, now, on Carolina News.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Haley Anders.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Jamison. The United States used the most powerful non-nuclear bomb it has in its arsenal for the first time in combat. According to military officials, the bomb, which contains 11 tons of explosives, was dropped on an ISIS combat complex in Afghanistan Thursday. The bomb was developed during the Iraq War and is officially called a massive ordnance air blast, with the nickname Mother of All Bombs. The military is still assessing the damage done to the area.
The Lexington County Sheriff's Department is investigating a string of hoax calls. Officers believe one woman is responsible for the prank calls, but they have not been able to trace her location.
Our Braylee Johnson is in the newsroom with the latest on the investigation. Braylee, can you tell us more?
The Lexington County Sheriff's Department released a call from a woman who they say has placed over 50 hoax calls to the department in the last 2 weeks. Police say that they have responded to each call, but the pranks are making it difficult for them to do their jobs. The department hopes someone may be able to pick out her voice from the call so that they can get back to helping the people who need it.
County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
It's 538 St. Andrews Road.
The call starts with an address. Then she reports a crime.
There's two guys out here fighting.
Okay, what business are you at?
So,
Officers rush to the scene to find nothing. Since March 25th, Lexington County Police say they received over 50 fake emergency calls from one woman. The woman has reported false robberies, shootings, and fights at various businesses on St. Andrews Road, but officers can't pin her location because of the phone she's using.
Even though it's not connected to a wireless network, an AT&T, a Sprint, or a Verizon, it still has the capability of calling 911.
Adam Myrick is the Public Information Officer for the Lexington County Sheriff's Department. Myrick says the department responds to every call they receive, but that the hoax calls are keeping them from their jobs.
It has us going to scenes where nothing is happening, and that's diverting us away from what we do each and every shift, and that is respond to calls for service.
Myrick says they've been able to pinpoint the caller's location to the St. Andrews area. In the call released to the public, the woman said she saw an altercation at this Shell station on the corner of St. Andrews and Ashland Road. Officer Myrick says the goal of releasing the call was to get someone to recognize her voice and ultimately get her to stop.
And we're hoping that someone can hear that voice, recognize who it is, and share that information with us or have her reach out to us, because we need to talk with her and underscore that this is a problem.
I spoke to Officer Myrick again right before the show. He told me that since they released the call with her voice yesterday, she's called again 3 more times, bringing her total up to 60. So far, they have not received any tips on who the woman may be. If you have any information about the woman, call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. Back to you in the studio.
That's so bizarre.
That is bizarre. I don't understand what the purpose of that would be.
I don't either. I hope the cops catch her soon.
I do too.
Well, we have been having some beautiful weather for the past few days.
We sure have, but unfortunately I've seen some clouds rolling in this afternoon.
Well, our weather reporter Andrea Esselman is out of the Kennedy Greenhouse studio. Andrea, do we have some rain in store for us?
Well, Kim, Haley, we actually don't have rain in store for us. The clouds blew in this afternoon, but they're already clearing, and you can expect by the end of tonight, they'll be completely gone. And that's how most of the weekend is actually going to look, as clear skies, about 85 degrees. So go ahead, take that Easter egg hunt outside, enjoy the sunny skies. Now, that being said, I am going to warn you, there is rain in the forecast, so I'll let you know when that's coming later on in the show. Back to you all in the studio.
Human trafficking is a silent billion-dollar business that sweeps the nation, predominantly in the Southeast. Carolina News reporter Princess Ruff talks with a survivor of sex trafficking and why it is so prevalent on the East Coast.
A startling business plagues the U.S., human trafficking. It is a trade that is highly active in South Carolina. The Palmetto State sits between Atlanta and Charlotte, with Atlanta being ranked number 2 for human trafficking in the U.S. and Charlotte being ranked in the top 20. Heather Cook, a human trafficking survivor, shares how this dangerous industry turned her life upside down.
I was 14 years old and I met a man, and basically he told me that he loved me. When he told me that he could take care of me and that he would get me out of the life, of the abandonment from my family life, I believed him. So I was 14 when I met him. By the time I was 16, he was exploiting me.
And prison gave her the way out she needed.
Let's see, I'll be out 7 years in August, and I was in there for 2, so prison was my way of escape.
Cook now works closely with Executive Director of Lighthouse for Life, Jen Thompson, to raise awareness and prevention.
We have the Freedom Bag program, which is where we supply law enforcement and forensic nurses and all these other places with like a bag to use to give to a survivor when they meet them, because sometimes they come off the street with nothing except what they have on.
South Carolina is one of 10 states to have access to 3 major highways, such as this one, making it easy for purchasers to lure and transport their victims. Take a look at the human trafficking frequency map on Polaris. You will see the heavy activity in the south and eastern parts of the U.S.
And so if you looked on there, you would see a high frequency of calls coming in from Greenville, Columbia, Charleston, Orangeburg, those areas, Myrtle Beach.
The South Carolina State Senate is also shedding light on this deadly trade. S-168, a bill that has just made it into the House, will protect victims and raise the penalty on purchasers. Advocates like Cook believe that this is a step in the right direction for South Carolina and the young women and men who fall in prey to this industry.
There is a way out. And there's hope. There's hope. You don't have to stay this way. And just know that somebody's praying for them.
Lighthouse for Life would open their first safe house in July, bringing more hope and light to the many victims and survivors. Princess Ruff, Carolina News.
You can donate to Lighthouse for Life by visiting their website at lighthouseforlife.org.
New court documents show Dylan Roof threatened to kill his attorney, David Brooke. Roof threatened Brooke the day after a judge ordered Roof to have another mental evaluation. He told Brooke if he gets out of jail, he will kill Brooke in his home. Roof wrote on a legal pad, quote, "You are a liar. You lied about not presenting exhibits. If you do it, you will regret it." Roof said he would rather die than be called mentally ill.
5 men were arrested Wednesday who were a part of a gangland-style murder outside a Richland County nightclub that occurred on March 22nd. Investigators found more than 50 shell casings at the scene of the murder from 6 different weapons, including stolen handguns. The men were also found with $600,000 in cash, 12 pounds of marijuana, and 9 weapons. Investigators spent over 100 hours uncovering the men's drug network and investigating the murder, going all the way from Seattle to Philadelphia, then back to the Midlands. The 5 men were charged with murder, attempted murder, and possessions of a weapon in a violent crime.
A pedestrian was killed in an overnight crash on I-26 in Springdale. 67-year-old Darlene Tager died after being struck by a vehicle at about 12:30 a.m. The accident happened in the eastbound lane at the Airport Boulevard exit 113. The driver of the vehicle was not injured. Traffic is now back to normal and the crash is being investigated.
Norway Councilman Michael Singleton was arrested Wednesday morning for his involvement in a Sunday evening traffic stop. Singleton came to the scene of a traffic stop involving his family members and interfered with the traffic stop and claims racial profiling was involved. In the following video of what happened, you can hear Singleton attempting to use his position as a councilman to try and stop the officer.
10% percentage. Okay. I don't need a meter, man. Okay. If you want to come in, that's your charge. I'll handle it, but I get coffee. Listen to me. If you want your job, if you want your job, your ticket. I'm telling you right now, Mr. Singleton. No, you're not going to disrespect me. Leave this seat. I'm your police commissioner. You're not yell at me. You do not yell at me. Get in your car and leave. Who are you talking to? You are interfering with my traffic stop. You stop everybody for nothing. You know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Get in your car and leave. Like I said, you heard what I said. Mr. Singleton. Come Monday, you might want to resign. I'm telling you.
The councilman has been charged with interfering with an officer, but is prepared to fight the charges. College graduation is just weeks away, and while it's an exciting time, it's often a very difficult one for soon-to-be grads. Alex Garino takes a deeper look into the stress many college seniors face.
Welcome to the University of South Carolina. We're all really excited that you're here today.
Spring at USC, a new chapter for some, but for others, a bittersweet ending.
This is the first place that really felt like home to me, so I think having to walk away from that is going to be really hard.
Graduation is just 3 weeks away, a reality that has brought out the best and the worst for senior Kelsey Hummel.
A mix of, I don't know if I want to cry because I'm excited or like cry because I'm sad to leave. Okay. Crying somewhere in there.
USC counselor Christina Jones says feeling anxious, stressed, or depressed about graduation is completely normal.
It's just a common phenomenon. It's something that kind of goes along with it. And I'll relate that to like losing a family member or a close friend. You know, you're supposed to go through a period of grief. You're supposed to feel sad.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Like, I'm moving to a new city next year where I, as of right now, don't know anybody, and I'm leaving everything I have known for the last 4 years.
But it's not permanent.
The presence of the stress, the presence of the anxiety is not necessarily indicative of a problem. I would say it's more about the level of impact that it's creating in your life.
And many seniors are feeling that impact.
I haven't been getting any sleep, so I'm really tired, especially since I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Sleeping would be where it hits me the most.
Counselors say seniors can ease graduation anxiety with these tips. Get enough sleep, eat regularly, maintain a normal schedule, and talk it out with others. While anxiety can be overwhelming, seniors can also find comfort in the future.
What's pushing me to feel better about it is knowing that wherever I'm going next is where I'm supposed to be.
And a senior's parting wisdom to those just starting their journey.
Slow everything down. 4 years goes by way, way faster than you think it will. Fastest 4 years I've ever experienced.
Alex Garino, Carolina News.
If you'd like to schedule an appointment with the Counseling Center, you can visit the Student Health Services page at sc.edu.
But would you be able to tell the real from the fake?
Fake news, that is. Find out some tips on how to avoid fake news on the internet.
We're going to a big fight.
Hey guys.
The strongest families are built one moment at a time. For more ways to make every day count, visit facebook.com/makeeverydaycount.
Reports and blocks false news stories from appearing on Facebook pages. Our Eric Cirillo takes a look at what tech companies are doing to help prevent the spread of false news, as well as asking people if they can identify what is real and what is fake.
False news, a topic of conversation that has gained a lot of traction in recent months, especially with the growth of social media. Some students are finding it hard to decipher what is real and what isn't.
I put false news to the test. I printed out 2 news articles and asked students on Green Street if they could decipher which one is true and which is false.
I have to go with El Chapo escaping from prison again. I don't think that's real.
This might be more fake just simply because of the list depicted in it.
There's really nothing to go on about it. There's actually no article with it.
I think the El Chapo escapes from prison is the big one.
Luckily, some tech companies have taken proactive steps to try and combat the spread of misinformation. Facebook announced Wednesday a new addition to the site that provides tips on how to spot what is real and what is fake.
You don't assume it's all right, you don't assume it's all wrong. You just have to develop a healthy understanding of where these news sources are coming from. You read your news with a skeptical eye, and over time you develop or you realize what is legitimate and what isn't.
And why do students believe this is necessary for all Facebook users?
Recently there's been like a lot of fake news, and then people fight about it and then they're misinformed. So I think people don't take it seriously, but they should.
It's an added benefit whenever somebody's actually trying to explain to you, like, yeah, this is what's real, this is what's not, like, because otherwise we just believe anything that crosses our path, anything that kind of is told us.
With tips like these, the spread of false information could take a turn in the right direction. Eric Cirillo, Carolina News.
Well, if you spot a story you believe is false, you can notify Facebook and they will block the story.
Well, if you're looking for another way to celebrate the Gamecocks' national championship win, then you're in luck. Coca-Cola announced on Tuesday they will be releasing a limited edition commemorative 12-ounce can beginning the week of April 17th. The cans will feature the Gamecock logo and will be only available in the Southeast.
While Coca-Cola is getting sporty, drinking sporty may not be as great as you think. When it comes to exercising, people use sports drinks such as Gatorade and Powerade to rehydrate and to drink something that tastes good. However, due to the high amounts of sugar, nutrition experts say sports drinks may not be the healthiest option. Our Stan Smith investigates the health facts of sports drinks and finds out what is healthy to drink in competition and outside of exercise.
Sports drinks are synonymous with athletic competition that are known to hydrate and taste good. However, are these sports drinks really a healthy choice? Campus outreach dietitian for Healthy Carolina, Olivia Jolly, shows how much processed sugar is in a 20-ounce bottle of Gatorade.
So the thing we're concerned about with Gatorade is the amount of sugar in these drinks. I have a little thing here. This is how many packets of sugar are in one Gatorade.
Jolly says this much sugar and carbohydrates are not necessary for just a quick trip to the gym.
You see commercials for them on TV and they're always showing, pro athletes or college athletes using these products after a game. And when you are playing on that level, you're doing lots of exercise, sometimes more than, 3 or 4 hours a day. However, if you are just exercising for 30 minutes to an hour a day or not at all, this type of carbohydrate load is not exactly necessary.
Putting that much sugar in your body increases the risk of weight gain, diabetes, and heart disease. Personal training coordinator at Strom Thurmond Fitness Center, Jake Parler, says he has had clients that have been advised to stop drinking sports drinks.
Oh, I mean, there's been guys that I know drink Gatorade daily, and they've been to the doctor, and their doctor says, hey, you got to stop drinking Gatorade because your kidneys are actually showing, they're not working like they should, so they have to completely cut out Gatorade.
Parler echoes what Jolly said, that there is too much sugar in these drinks.
The 32-ounce Gatorade, I think that has 60, 70 grams of sugar, something like that in it, which is, that's almost about a fourth of what you should take in a day for carbohydrates total, and you're getting that all in one sitting from a beverage.
To put these numbers into perspective, if I wanted to burn off this entire 32-ounce bottle of Gatorade, which contains 52 grams of sugar, I would have to ride this bike for 30 minutes, going exactly 10 miles an hour the entire time with no brakes. If you do want to drink sports drinks, Parler says timing is everything when it comes to drinking them for a workout.
If you're just sitting, like we're sitting here right now, we're drinking Gatorade, you might as well be drinking a soda. It has the same amount of sugar. But as long as you're going to drink Gatorade, if you're going to drink it, you want to drink it at a time you're working out, maybe even before you're going to work out or after you're going to work out. Gatorade is going to help replenish some of those lost electrolytes that you lost while you were working out.
So whether you are competing at a high level or just jogging at the gym, be aware of what is actually healthy to drink. Stan Smith, Carolina News.
Well, Parler says drinking sports drinks with half the sugar and sodium would also be a healthier option, as opposed to the sports drinks with the same amount of sugar as a soda.
Goodness.
Well, there's always water.
There's always water. Everything in moderation, right?
Absolutely.
Well, our weather reporter, Andrea Esselman, is enjoying the nice weather at the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio. How are things looking, Andrea?
Well, Kim, Haley, it's looking beautiful out here. Those clouds that rolled in earlier are starting to clear out, and you can expect really clear, sunny skies for the rest of the weekend. However, rain is coming, so I'll let you know what the details are with that next.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke fast.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Well, Easter is just around the corner, and I'm looking forward to some beautiful weather.
Me too, me too. Let's send things over to our weather anchor, Andrea Esselman, who has our full weekend report. How are things looking, Andrea?
Well, things are looking beautiful out here. The clouds are clearing up and the sun is about to shine. It's about 80 degrees out here. In fact, why don't we take a look at what's going on currently in Columbia. You can see that the temperatures are sitting right at about 80 degrees with really light winds, about 4 miles per hour going south, and humidity sitting at about 41%. So it's none of those summer humidity levels, but certainly a little bit sticky out there. So why don't we go ahead and look at around the state. You can see that we're really experiencing the same temperatures pretty much across the state. We've got 80 and 81 in Rock Hill and right in the 70s along the coastline. And so if we can move into our next map across the nation, we really don't have a lot of stuff on the map, but we do have this front sitting here. That's what brought in a few of those clouds that we saw this afternoon. Those are already moving out. We have a high kind of sitting up here, and that is bringing just clear temperatures all across the coast. And you can see we have a little bit of storming going on here. And if we move into tomorrow, we'll see this is where all of this stuff is happening right in here. We have all of our weather makers. This is going to move our way over the next few days, and that's going to bring some rain after the weekend. But until then, we just have this really nice nothing going on, clear skies, sunny and warm. And so if we take a look at tonight's lows, it's going to be very comfortable. You'll see 58 in Columbia, a little bit higher in Greenville, and 60s across the coastline. And so, you know, it's nice and cool. You can open your windows, turn off the air conditioning for a little while. And then moving into tomorrow's highs, we're going to have pretty much the same as today. Temperatures sitting in around 80 in Columbia, a little bit cooler in the north, and much cooler along the coastline. Just a really beautiful day. So taking a look at our 5-day forecast, what you can see, we've got sunny skies all through the week, beautiful Easter weekend, a little bit of storms as next week starts. So that's your forecast. Back to you in the studio.
Looking good.
It looks really great outside.
We have our Easter colors on. We're
ready for it.
Well, if you didn't get enough golf from last week at the Masters, you're in luck. The PGA Tournament is in South Carolina. We'll take you inside the tournament next.
You taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
good weather for the next few days should play out well for some golf and baseball. Brewer, what's happening in sports?
Yeah, absolutely. Augusta saw some bad weather late last week that messed up the Masters, but this week it should be a lot better, which should bode well. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Now we got our mic on. Hopefully y'all can hear me. It may not be Augusta National this week, but South Carolina is host to a PGA Tour event of their own. The RBC Heritage Tournament is in full swing as of today, and our Nick Jones and Parker King are in Hilton Head for a recap of today's action.
We're at the 49th annual RBC Heritage Tournament here on Hilton Head Island, and this is South Carolina's lone PGA Tour event. Now, back in October, the harbor looked a lot different than it does now. Of course, Hurricane Matthew did come through and tear up most parts of the island. The course wasn't in the best shape, but they did clean it up, and it's really set up for a great day here in Harbortown.
That's right. It's been absolutely beautiful weather. There was a nice breeze this morning that kept the course from getting too hot. One of the players to take advantage of that was Matt Kuchar. He won here in 2014, and he's actually coming off of tying for 4th last weekend at the Masters. And so he's just 3 behind the lead right now.
And the guy that is in the lead as of 2 o'clock today is Luke Donald. He shot 6 under. He's had a pretty good history here at Harbortown. The last 11 times he has played here, he has finished in the top 3 6 times. So pretty good track record here at Harbortown.
Yeah, and there's a newcomer here too, Wesley Bryan. He played at South Carolina. He said, he felt like he could have done a little bit better today, but playing here feels like he's been playing at home.
I mean, it's a tournament that I grew up attending for I don't know how many years and watched my dad play in it probably 10 or 15 years ago. So it's cool to actually be on the inside part of the ropes for the first time. It's pretty special.
It's great to see a Gamecock out here on the course, and he put himself in pretty good standings finishing today, but hopefully he can make some moves for tomorrow.
And we'll keep track of all the other players that are playing in this tournament. Just follow us at USC Carolina News on Twitter for all the updates. For Parker King, I'm Nick Jones from Hilton Head Island, Carolina News.
As Nick said, Luke Donald leads the field after day 1 of play at 6 under. He placed 3rd just a year ago. Former USC golfer Wesley Bryan finished the day at 2 under. Well, we got one former Gamecock playing on the PGA Tour, and another Gamecock could be going pro too. PJ Dozier announced yesterday that he will test the waters in the upcoming NBA draft. His draft announcement is not a guarantee that he won't be on the USC basketball team next season. The draft combine is May 9th through the 14th. Following the combine, Dozier has 10 days to decide to return to school or enter the draft, unless he hires an agent, in which case he would lose eligibility to play college ball. Note that it is becoming common to see players declare for the draft so they can get NBA scouts to evaluate their stock, but his dad said he's not going just to test the waters. He feels like he's ready to play in the NBA. The WNBA draft will be on tonight in New York at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. South Carolina has 3 former players that will be at that draft. Senior Elena Coates, Kayla Davis, and Alicia Gray are all predicted to be selected in the first round of tonight's draft. And back to the Diamond, the softball team will begin a 3-game homestand starting tonight at 5 p.m. against Mercer. Tomorrow, top-ranked Florida State will roll into town for a 2-game series that will be played Friday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 1 p.m. The team is currently on a 3-game skid. So the softball team could definitely use a couple wins to pick up that record.
They could use that W.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever wanted to swim and fly at the same time? Find out how swimmers appear to be doing just that coming up next. Well, a pool in Houston has been getting a lot of attention after this video of a swimmer went viral. The swimmer appears to be stepping over the edge of a building, but look closer. Ooh, I don't like that. The swimmer is actually in a glass-bottom pool. The pool is located at the top of a luxury apartment complex in downtown Houston and is 40 stories above the ground.
No, absolutely not.
I would do it. Let's do it, guys.
It's a no for me.
I'm just picturing my mom's reaction when I'm in that pool looking down. And like 2 seconds later, I get the phone call. What are you doing?
Oh, man.
Well, how about that weather? Any swimming weather?
Well, yes, actually. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. We have 80s all through the weekend, and so yeah, go out, get your tan on. There's some rain coming on Monday and Tuesday next week, but it won't be that much. It's not too much to worry about, so that's about it.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks. See you tomorrow. Have a good evening.